Now we're going to solve equations with fractions. You've solved one-step equations. You always get rid of the stuff by doing the inverse operations. Now we're just going to do it with fractions. In 1999, the average household in the United States recycled about 1/4 of its solid waste. The Environmental Protection Agency has set a goal of recycling about 1/3 of your solid waste. By how much would the average household need to increase its recycling to meet the EPA goal? Here's where we're at, 1/4. We're trying to increase by some amount to get to the EPA's goal of 1/3. Great, this isn't too tough. I would say let's figure out what operation we need to do first, and then we can, if we need to, change denominators. So we're going to get rid of this plus 1/4 by subtracting 1/4. If you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So x is going to equal whatever 1/3 minus 1/4 is. Now, when you're subtracting fractions, you have to have the same denominator. So 3 and 4 go into 12. So 1/3, we'd have to multiply by 4, so it'd be 4/12. 1/4, we'd have to multiply by 3 in the numerator and denominator, so minus 3/12. And 4/12 minus 3/12 would just leave you with 1/12. So we need to increase our solid waste recycling by 1/12. Let's try one more of these ones. We'll try C here. So we have to get rid of plus 3/10. So you know we're going to subtract it. So C is going to equal whatever 11/15 minus 3/10 is. Now we need a common denominator. So 15 and 10 I know both go into 30. So it's 15 times 2 and 10 times 3. So numerator here, 11 times 2 is 22, so we have 22/30ths, minus 3 times 3 is 9, 10 times 3 is 30th. 22/30ths minus 9/30ths leaves us with 13/30ths for C. C equals 13/30ths. Cool. So, in minus 3/4 equals negative 5/8. How do we get rid of minus 3/4? By adding 3/4. So, n is going to equal negative 5/8 plus 3/4. Let me move over here. Same denominator could be 8. So we don't need to change negative 5/8. But 3/4 we're going to need to multiply by 2. So that would give us 6/8. Negative 5 plus 6 is positive 1. So n equals 1/8. That wasn't too bad. You get rid of minus by adding. These are very doable. You can do both of these no problem. Let's get to the mixed numbers. P minus 1 3/5 equals 2 and 1/4. How are we going to get rid of minus 1 3/5? We're going to add it. So, really the equation we're doing is 2 and 1/4 plus 1 3/5. Getting a common denominator, what can 4 and 5 go into? 20. So that's 4 times 5. So this would be 2 and 5/20ths. This is 5 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. All right, big boys, 2 plus 1 is 3. 5/20ths plus 12/20ths is 17/20ths. See if you can simplify it anymore, which you can't. So we just have P equals 3 and 17/20ths. So again, just do the inverse operation to cancel stuff out. So we just got rid of minus. Let's see if there's one. There we go. We'll do B here. We have to get rid of plus 1 and 1/3, so we're going to subtract it. So we're doing 3 and 7/18 minus 1 and 1/3 for Z. Now, the same denominator could be 18, which is nice because we don't have to change the first one. 1 and 6/18. So if you subtract the large numbers, 3 minus 1 is 2. 7/18 minus 6/18 would be 1/18. Pretty tricky. All right, now with multiplication and division. 5a means 5 times a. So to get rid of it, we'd have to divide by 5. But we're doing fraction stuff. So 5 is a fraction. It's just 5 over 1. So we're doing 1/7 divided by 5 over 1. Division of fractions, you keep the first fraction, you change it to multiplication, and you use the reciprocal of the second fraction. So dividing by 5 is the same thing as multiplying by 1 over 5. So now 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 5 is 35. So if you just have a number in front of the variable, like all of these, you can just multiply by 1 over that. So here we can multiply both sides by 1/8. Let's think of the left side. 1/8 of 8x would just be x. All right, on this side, 5 times 1 is 5, 7 times 8 is 56. All right, let's get to ones where we have some mixed numbers. Not yet. I thought we were there. I'm going to write this over here because I need this space. 4/5 m equals 9/10. You could do this in 2 steps. I'd recommend doing it in 1. If you ever have a fraction in front of the variable, you can multiply both sides by the reciprocal. You just flip it upside down. So times 5 over 4. And I'll show you why that is the first time. If you were to multiply 4 times 5, you get 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So you have 20 over 20, which is just 1. So every time you multiply by the reciprocal, it comes out to 1, and you're trying to get it to be 1m. So mission accomplished. Over here, if you simplify, 5 goes into 10 twice. So we have 9 times 1 is 9. 2 times 4 is 8. We'll turn that into a mixed number. 8 goes into 9 one time with 1 left over. So multiply by the reciprocal. Let's do b. So we're going to multiply by 4/3. Everything cancels on the left. Nothing cancels on the right. So 8 times 4 is 32. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 goes into 32 one time with 5 leftovers. All right. Oh, goodness me, oh my. A negative number. Oh. Just multiply by the reciprocal again. But we're going to do negative 25/14. Everything still cancels on the left. You have a negative times negative is positive. The reciprocal all cancels out, so it comes out to positive k. Over here, I can do 15 and 25 are both divisible by 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 5 is 25. 8 and 14 are both divisible by 2, so this becomes 4 and 7. So we have 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. 3 times 7 is 21. Let's see. Oh, I really want to get to those impropers. Negative doesn't really make a difference. All right, here's our improper. Your teacher needs a shelf to hold a set of textbooks, each 1 5/8 inches wide. How many books will fit on a 26-inch long shelf? Now, remember when I've said this 654 times. Every time you see each or per, that's a good indication you're doing multiplication. So we're doing 1 5/8 inches times each book. We want to know how many you can get on a shelf that is 26 inches long. So there's our setup, which is the toughest part of this problem. So we're going to go improper here. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. So we have 13/8 b equals 26. Now, because we're dealing with fractions, and I know I'm going to have to do something with fractions, I'm just gonna change it to 26 over 1 right now. So we can multiply by the reciprocal. I don't know why I put the parentheses here instead of over the 26. Doesn't matter. Left side, B. Right side, I see 13 goes into 26 twice. So we have 2 times 8 is 16. 1 times 1 is 1. 16 divided by 1 is 16. And what are we talking about in this problem? We're talking about the books. So they can fit 16 books on that shelf. So let's try one more. We're going to do letter C. We got to go in proper. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So negative 11 fourths H equals 2 times 12 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So negative 25 over 2. We use that reciprocal times negative 4 over 11. Negative 4 over 11. Now, I see on the right side, we have a negative times negative. That'll change the plus. 25 doesn't have anything in common with 2 or 11, but 2 goes into 4 2 times. So we have 25 times 2 is 50. 1 times 11 is 11. We were given mixed numbers, so let's give them a mixed fraction. 11 goes into 50 4 times. That would be 44. So there'd be 6 left. So H equals 4 and 6 elevenths. That was borderline too much fun. Too much fun, dude.